everyone, welcome back to Frenchies Bakery. Today we are going to be making our first ever ice cream cake on this channel and my first ever ice cream cake. My brother is always asking me, and I'm talking about like always, like, Gina, can you make an ice cream cake? Gina, can you make an ice cream cake? Gina, can you make an ice cream cake? And I'm always like, I don't know, I think it's just really messy, but I think I can. And he's just been asking nonstop, and my mom was like, I think that's kind of like a little hint, like, can you please make one? And I wasn't able to make one for him for his birthday, which was like 2 weeks ago. So I figure since we're gonna have a little birthday party for me at my family's tonight, I will just make one, and then he can enjoy it, I can enjoy it, because I love ice cream cakes, and it's gonna be a good fun time. I think it's gonna be pretty easy, you guys. I think we can pull this off, and it's gonna be really tasty. So instead of doing the typical like vanilla and chocolate ice cream cake, I'm going to be doing Oreo ice cream cake because I love Oreo ice cream and I love Oreos, and I mean, who doesn't? It's just the best of the best. So I think we're gonna be able to do this. So the first thing we're going to do is start to assemble our ice creams because we want to pop them in the freezer. And then I guess while they're chilling in the freezer, we're gonna crush up some Oreos because that's really all we have to do. I mean, it's pretty simple. So all I have is some ice cream here. I literally just went to the grocery store, so my shopping bag is right here. I got two 48-ounce ice cream bins here, or tubs, and they're Turkey Hill cookies and cream. I think that's the best. I got some Cool Whip topping because we're gonna be putting that on the outside. And then I also got some Oreos. So we're gonna be crushing these up and putting them in the center for like a little bit of a crunch layer. And then some hot fudge. And I'm also gonna use some Oreos to decorate the top, I think. So that's all the stuff. I mean, it's pretty simple. So let me zoom the camera out a little bit so I can show you guys how we're gonna be putting the ice cream into our cake pans. I have one of these really fancy cake pans here that clip open and close, so it's kind of like for a cheesecake. So I'm gonna use this. I don't know if it's gonna be big enough, so I have another cake pan here in case if we need to put some more ice cream in this for another layer. And this is 9 inches. So I have my ice cream here, an ice cream scoop, and I'm gonna scoop out. This is definitely not soft enough because I just bought it, but you know, we're gonna work with it and we'll get it. So I'm gonna scoop some out, and then we're gonna spread this all over the bottom of this cake pan, make it nice and even. This is an arm workout for the day, and yeah. Alright, so I have a whole layer of ice cream here. So once again, this is a 9-inch cake pan, and I used the whole tub of ice cream. So we're definitely gonna need 2. That's like perfect. It was the perfect amount, so I'm really happy about that. I'm gonna pop this into the freezer. We're gonna be able to fit both in here, I think. Yeah. So I'm gonna pop this in the freezer for about 15 minutes probably, and then that's when we'll add our hot fudge and Oreo cookie filling. All right, so while our cake is in the freezer, I'm going to crush up these Oreos. Normally I would put them in the food processor, but I don't want them to be like too fine. I kind of want bigger chunks, and I feel like even if you keep it in there for a less amount of time, some get too small and some are still too big. So I'm just gonna do it by hand. I put it in a Ziploc bag, and I'm just gonna bang it with the back of this spoon and make perfect little crumbs. So our ice cream is nice and frozen again. So now I'm gonna take some hot fudge here, and I'll take just this ice cream scoop I was using. And we're just gonna scoop this out on top of our cake, or ice cream, I guess. I'm just so used to just working with cake, but we're just working with ice cream really today. And then we're gonna spread it out nice and evenly. And I used the whole jar. This is 11.75 ounces. I just got it in the ice cream section where they have the cones and sprinkles and everything. And I'm just gonna spread it out evenly. I left a little bit on the sides of the jar just in case if I want to pop it in the microwave and melt it, and then maybe like put a little bit on top of the cake to make it fancy. I don't know, we'll see how things go. This is kind of hard to smooth out because it gets really cold from the ice cream and it stiffens up, so you want to work fast with this. And a whole jar you will definitely need because that's almost not even enough. Now I'm gonna add on my cookie crumble here. So I'm just going to sprinkle the Oreos on top. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be really good. I can't wait to eat it. I have to wait like 2 or 3 hours. It's gonna be rough not eating it. And then I'll just take this same spatula and just smooth this out nice and even. Oh yeah, this cake pan is gonna work perfect. I wish we could share this together. All of us could have a party and share this cake together. But this is the best we can do, so, and I'm fine with it. I love making videos for you guys. All right, so we're gonna pop this into the freezer for another 15 minutes, and then we're gonna add the rest of the ice cream on top. So now this layer is a little bit frozen, so we're gonna add the rest of our ice cream. I have just like a little bit left in here and it's totally melted, so I'm just gonna pour it on top to make things real easy. Then we're gonna scoop the rest of our ice cream on top. This is much softer than the first layer we did. That was tough when it was totally frozen solid. We're gonna do our last layer of ice cream, pop it in the freezer for another 15 minutes, and then we will work on icing the outside of the cake. Our cake is fully frozen, so I'm gonna unclip this little pan that I have here. Take the sides off very slowly. Okay, so my cake's giving me major troubles. I've never used this pan before for even a cheesecake or anything, but it's not coming off, so what I would recommend doing is putting some clear wrap in your pan, and then you can just easily take it out. I have to wash my hands because they're super messy from the ice cream. I also would recommend doing this a day in advance, so it has time to like fully freeze overnight. I'm working with like 2 hours here. So the 15 minutes like isn't really cutting it. It's really melting. I knew this was gonna be super messy. So I'm going to add some Cool Whip on the outside as like a little icing, and then I'm gonna try and pop this back in the freezer as fast as possible. So I'm gonna do a bunch of Cool Whip on the outside, and then we'll use some Oreos to make some nice decorations. All right, so I'm gonna sprinkle some chopped up Oreos on top just to make it nice and fancy, and so people know that it is an Oreo cake. So we're gonna just sprinkle this all over the top of the cake. Maybe I'll add a little bit on the sides. Just press it onto the side of the cake here. Now things are getting really messy. There's crumbs everywhere. The cake is melting a little bit. So the last decoration is going to be full Oreos, and I'm just gonna stick them in the top and just do them all around. I wanted to do some swirl icing, like I do to top like all of my cakes, but I don't think the Cool Whip is going to stay together and be like thick enough. So hang on, I have a full row of cookies here and I can't get it out. Okay, so it's just gonna be, oh, that's not a whole Oreo. There we go. So it's just gonna be the Oreos standing, no big swirls of icing on top. All right, you guys, just like that, we have an Oreo ice cream cake, and I cannot believe we did it. I was starting to get a little scared towards the middle/end because things were getting really messy. At the beginning, I was like, oh my gosh, this is such a piece of cake. But then I was like, okay, this is starting to get really messy. But it turned out great. I am loving this. I think it looks scrumdiddlyumptious, and I get to eat it in less than an hour. So I'm ready, I'm excited. I'll post all sorts of pictures on Instagram of the inside and everything because I don't want to cut it here. You know, I want it to be a full cake for the party. So the inside obviously is going to be gorgeous layers of the ice cream, and then the fudge and cookies, and then more ice cream. And then it'll also probably be in the thumbnail. But yeah, this looks really great, and I'm really excited about it. So thank you guys for being here with me for a first timer. We did a first timer together where we experimented, and it really was great. So if you guys have like a whole day and then a night for it to chill, it would be much better, a little bit less messy. It really wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, but towards the end, honestly, it did start to like really fall apart. The ice cream was really melting. It was coming out the sides of the cake pan and everything. So I highly recommend saran wrap so it comes out easier, because as of right now, the cake pan is literally under this on the cake board. But luckily it's my cake, so I can bring the cake board home tonight. And yeah, so I will never be selling these because they melt too fast and I can't like get them to people, and it would just be a disaster, but I will get to make them for my family and friends at least. And yeah, that's everything for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Have a good rest of your day, everyone. Bye.